Exciting episode of My Hair is
Wild.
Wild. So,
Took over his head.
yeah, I tell you, I'm one lucky
His
man.
brain.
I have a wife who cuts my hair for me, so it's dirty right now. If I washed it, it would be better, but she cuts my hair, so I don't have to go to a barber shop. And to be honest with you, you don't find barber shops the way, the old-fashioned barber shops.
They're not easy to get anymore.
There was this one place in San Antonio that I went to. It was like $5, and there was another place I went to in San Antonio that was $5, and they did a good job. And then one of the two places moved down to a more convenient location, and now that whole shopping center is torn down. Well, when we went there, they were tearing it down. They hadn't torn the whole thing down yet, but
I bet their price went up after they moved too.
Yeah, they moved to a nicer location, more convenient location for people.
And their price doubled.
Their price went up. They made it all fancy-like inside, and then they turned it into a beauty salon. Now it's a beauty salon. And the other place, which was down the street from my mother's house, kind of sort of changed hands a few times, and there's a guy in there. He did a good job. The other guy did a good job, but not constantly, but it would change hands every 3, 4, 5 years. But anyway, what I was going to say is, what I would like us to get next month, if we can, is a 22 and a 9mm. Doubt we're going to be able to get it, but it's, the way things are going, I think people understand that, you kind of have to buckle down and get stuff like that now. So I'm going to use 22 semi-automatic rifle. Why a 22, you ask? You might say, well, a 22, that's not going to do anything. Yes, a 22 is still a gun. You can still hunt with it, you can get squirrel with it, and like we showed on one video the other day, how big a chipmunk is, and no, you don't want to shoot a chipmunk with a 22. But
Chipmunks are about slingshot material.
Yeah. So get a 22 semi-auto rifle. Some of the reasons for a 22: they're cheaper. We both know we can use a 22. If we can shoot the most, then we can shoot a 22. The ammo is readily available. It's cheap, and they don't have a kick to them. That's for sure.
Very little kick.
So I figure that. We could get some birds. We could get squirrels. There's some things you could hunt with if you had. I'm not a hunter. Don't get me wrong. If we had to hunt, I would hunt. Not that I would like it, not that I would enjoy it, because I wouldn't. But then I might.
Well, if it came down to it, I'd try to capture pigeons and give them to breed. That way you can.
And we have snares. I've showed in other videos. Oh, look! I snared a bottle of medicine. But we have snares. Although it'd be nice to get some better wire than this to use for a snare. But snares just kind of go all over the place. The reason for a 9mm is because 9mm ammo is also relatively cheap and readily available. What?
And common.
Yeah, and common. And it's not going to have the kick that the 40 has. And I would prefer that we both have a long gun and a pistol. Yeah, it's just, I think it's best that way. And the Mosin it's a single shot bolt action, and I really want to get optics for it. But I don't want to, so far as the bolt, I would prefer not to have it bent or cut. I'd rather get a bent bolt and put in there. And I want to get a scope for it. But I don't want to really, mess with it. I'd rather just, you know, get a scope that was intended for it in the first place and just put it on there. Because it's a good long-range rifle, but that's it. Now, it'd be nice if we could also afford a 12 gauge, but it's probably going to be between a 22 and a 12 gauge for the long gun, and probably get a 9 if we can, but we have other bills to pay. And
We'd like to eat too.
and would like to eat too, so you know, we don't know what we're going to do about food next month because our food stamps being cut down to like what, 15?
16.
$16 a month.
That's over $100 a month loss.
That's over. If you didn't hear, that's over $100 a month loss. So you know, we may not be able to get anything. And I wanted to get another chair like this one, so we can have 2 chairs to sit and eat with in the kitchen. I would like to fix my wife a nice meal so we could sit at the dining table and eat. But we have this chair, this one chair right here I'm sitting on. And I want to be able to sit at that desk. And I already sent a friend a message asking her how much she would charge to help us clean and organize.
Couch over here.
Yeah, I'd like to sit with my wife, but
The couch is
plywood stuff.
full.
And but I mean, it's not just thrown together. Don't get me wrong. It's not just thrown there. We know where stuff is. It's the space we have. And that's it. I mean, that's just. But we knew what we were getting into when we rented this apartment. You know, and we wanted to get out of the homeless shelter. So, anyway, so I was just wanted to talk about, you know, it'd be nice to have an AK-47, but I'm sure we can't afford that. A 22 and a 9mm, or a 9mm and a 12 gauge. Those are what I would like us to get. But we need to call tomorrow. We need to call the office and see what we can do about the food stamps, because that's gonna hurt us a lot. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to say. Have a good night. Bye.